I would ask you, where is the continent that we call Islam? How many people here would say that they come from Asian countries? Can we just have hands? Okay. Would you also accept that what we call Asia now has some of the oldest historical records that we know of, right? Going back almost 2,500 years from the present. In none of these records do we have an idea that any of the people who lived in what is now Iraq, Tigris Euphrates, or the Indus Ganges, or in the Yellow River and in China, none of them ever thought they were Asian. They never say, dear my fellow Asian. This doesn't happen. Almost for 4,000 years, they never thought they were Asian. When they start thinking about Asian as common is because the world was mapped out in the 16th century by European map makers. And they began to formulate this notion of Asia, which then those who were in those places began to internalize. And it was almost 100 years ago in the 19th century where people in China and Japan started talking about Pan-Asianism as a way of opposing European rule. Similarly, in Africa, everyone knows it's Africa because you can draw it on the map. It's quite straightforward to draw. But again, there was no Africa before European cartography. If you think about Africa, there is so many differences in so many ways. And we don't have any record of people right at the tip of what is now South Africa thinking right where in Nigeria is that this is the same people, this is the same continent. So if you accept with me that the modern definitions of continents come from European map makers, then I would ask you, where is the continent that we call Islam? And if Islam doesn't have a continent, then what does it say for the way in which we understand the world?